When you don't fire people, you have a knowledge that they're the wrong person and you're still not letting them go. And you're creating a cancerous and a toxic environment. Hey leaders, hope you're doing amazing today. I always say that when I enter, don't I? Well, it's true. I really do hope you're doing amazing. I wanted to send you out a video today that I think is something so important. And I'm being backed up over and over again. I swear, I talk about this stuff, I preach this stuff, and then I'll hear some big guru, somebody who has a lot more followers than me and has way crazy successful businesses, say a similar thing. And today was no exception. I was waiting for my car at an auto shop, and I was searching through my Instagram, and a video from Gary Vaynerchuk pops up. Now, he's got a ton of books. If you don't know who he is, he owns Vayner Media, which is a huge media group. He is one of the most, fascinating. He's a very fascinating business leader, but also somebody who predicted the Instagram explosion. He understands Snapchat. He goes around and he speaks all over the world, and he does branding and imaging and marketing, media placement for huge companies, Coca-Cola, Nike, all these huge companies, right? And he had this little clip that I went, oh my gosh, I'm so grateful he said this. Now, as you know, if you have my Hire and Fire Like a Boss program, or if I've talked to you ever about hiring and firing, how important it is that you hire 3 times slower and fire 5 times faster. This is going to be in a conjunction with another conversation I listened to. I listened to a podcast with Dave Ramsey, the money guy, and he was talking about his hiring process, and they are doing about $200 million this year. They started their business on a card table in their kitchen 20 years ago, and now they're doing over $200 million this year. And not a single dime in debt, never have been, never will be. They have 200 employees, and he said one of the reasons why our company works so well is because our hiring process, you have to go through 10 interviews to be hired with our company. And he goes, and still my employees drive me crazy. He goes, but they're the best people in the world, and they also drive me crazy. And they know they've got to fight for that job because they have to go through 10 interviews in order to get hired on with that company. And the interviewer was fascinated by this because he also has a company, and he's like, wow, I didn't even know what your interview process is. And Dave said, the thing is that we want to work with people that we want to work with, that are people who, people will tell you who they are if you're listening long enough. And if you're listening smart enough, well enough, I should say, not smart enough, well enough. And so I thought that was really great. So that added on to this Gary Vaynerchuk video. And the Gary Vaynerchuk video added on to that, because Gary said, the fastest way to transform your culture and your business is to fire faster, fire people. He goes, because when you fire people, you let the other people who are serious and want to be a part of this culture know that you're serious about the business, that you're not playing around, and it gives them hope. It gives them a feeling of, yes, I want to be a part of this. Whereas with hiring, and the interviewer said, so the same thing, like hiring and firing. He goes, no, hiring is not as important as firing is. Because in hiring, you're taking a guess. You're guessing and hoping that it works out. When you don't fire people, you have a knowledge that they're the wrong person, and you're still not letting them go. And you're creating a cancerous and a toxic environment. So I was like, man, preach it, brother, because that's exactly correct. I mentioned to you often about how you've got to be willing to get in there and take these opportunities of firing people seriously. And I know it's hard because you have to start the hiring process over and over again. But if you follow along with what I'm telling you, you never stop that hiring process. You let everyone know you're always looking for amazing talent and doing talent searches all the time. And then you won't ever feel like you're stuck and trapped, because I know some of you are out there and you won't fire the person who needs to be fired because, dang it, you got to start that other process again. You got a list of 30 other things that you have to deal with, and you don't have to deal with this one thing of starting the process over again. And then it's not just a hiring process, also the training process, which of course you're shooting videos on everything you train, so you don't have to worry about it. See, everything that I'm trying to show you and these videos in the program with your coach, with your accountability coach, is to create the systems in place. This goes all the way back to when I first started my career in the marriage space and helping higher-end entrepreneurs have better relationships with one another. And I'd always just say, well, why are you creating a system for that? You're having a problem with intimacy in your marriage? Create a system for it. A problem with communication? Create a system for it. Everything has a system, just like good businesses. So when it comes to you and your business, you have to be willing to look at it and go, man, if I really want to increase my culture, I've got to fire faster. I've got to fire people and not let them be toxic to you, because every day that you are letting them be there, they're wasting money. I mean, I think it's fascinating. Sometimes people, worry about hiring consultants or worry about getting coaches. And even with my services, I get it. And yet you're totally fine dealing with someone in your office who's insubordinate, who doesn't care, who isn't a part of the solution. They're always a part of the problem. But you always negate it with, but they're a good person. And that's not the point, because you got 5, 6, 7, 10, 20 other good people who are really good and invested and want to be a part of this, who are looking at that going like, well, they obviously don't care about their business enough to let that person go, and we got to deal with it. We got to put up with it. So you got to be willing to fire people if you want to increase your culture. And then on the hiring side of things, it's a guess, but make it a really educated guess. I love the process of 5, 10 interviews. I know that seems overwhelming and daunting, but make sure it's a process that you're weeding out the people as much as you possibly can. And it's a continual process that never ends. Do that, and you're going to be so much happier. It's going to be painful at the beginning because nobody taught you how to do this when you started out. Now you got to make up for that pain now. It's like that person who was never taught how to brush their teeth properly, and now they got to go through that pain and all the bleeding and all the scraping and all the things you have to do to them in order to make them feel better and happy and comfortable and keep their teeth. I want you to keep your job. I want to keep your business. I want you to keep it happy. I want you to keep your employees, your good ones, your A-list players. You need to be doing that. In order to do that, you got to go through some pain over here. I hope that serves you. I hope you're having an amazing week, and I hope you are able to take what I have to say and know that I do it out of love, and I want nothing but the best for you. Hope you have an awesome week. Talk to you next time.